Let us solve the exercise number 6 in the part B of C# lab. In this exercise, we are supposed to design a web page to enter student information such as student number, student name, marks in 3 subjects, and there must be 2 buttons in this particular web page. One button is add, the other one is display. The add button is used to save the student details, that is the student number, student name, and marks in 3 subjects into the database. And they said that we are supposed to insert at least 5 records into the database. Along with that, they said that the button must also calculate the total percentage and grade, store it in the database. Finally, they said that the second button, display, must display all the records which are stored in the database using the data grid view. So let's go ahead and let's start building the application. I'm going to go to the Visual Studio and I'm going to go to the file, new, and I'm going to go to the project rather than the blank page over here. I'm going to go to the project here by clicking on the file, new, project. And within this, I'm going to select under C#, I'm going to select the web, and I'm going to select the ASP.NET web application. You can save it at a proper location. Let's go and let's assume that you're going to save it at proper location. Let me click on OK, and I'm going to select the empty web application, and I will not select anything from here, including the Azure. And let me click OK to create the web project. Once the web project is created, we are supposed to store something in the database. So let's go ahead and let's create the database table. And they said that the information must be stored in the database with the table, and the table name that they have not given. You can give any name to the table. Let's go ahead and let's do that thing. So I have with me the Visual Studio, and you can click on the Solution Explorer here. If the Solution Explorer is not visible, go here and click on the Solution Explorer. And I'm going to go to the Solution Explorer and I'm going to add a specific folder which is special for ASP.NET application. So I'm going to go to the web application, right click on it, and I will go to the add here. So under this add, you have a lot of options, and I'm going to go to the ASP.NET folder, and then I'm going to select the app underscore data. So this is what I'm doing. So what I've done is I've right clicked on this place here, and then I've selected add, then I've selected the ASP.NET folder, and finally the app underscore data. So let me do it one more time. So I'll go to the add, then I'm going to go to the ASP.NET folder, and then I'm going to say app underscore data. This will just create a folder here. It will not do anything, but that folder is special for storing the databases. So now I'm going to add a database to this particular folder. So I'm going to right click on this folder, and I'm going to go to this add, and you have a lot of options over here, and you have the option of adding directly the SQL Server database. This is straightforward. The longest way of doing it is clicking on new item and then selecting the SQL database server. It's up to you. You can do it in any way. You can give the name to the database. Any name is okay with me because I'm not going to access the database directly within my code. I will be interacting with the table which is there inside that database. So I will just click on add. That will add the database into my project, and you notice that that database, whatever it is, database 1.mdf is being added to my project. I'm going to double click on this particular database. So I will double click on this thing, When I double click on this, you will notice that on the right hand side, you will notice that the Server Explorer has started. Again, if the Server Explorer is not there, go to the view and then search for the Server Explorer. Okay, so Server Explorer will start, and you will notice that the database is now connected. Okay, and if you look at the tables here, and if you click on this arrow over here, you notice that there are no tables are there. So I will have to create a table there. So let me go ahead and let me create a table. How do I create a table? Is by right clicking on it and then saying add new table. So I will right click and then select add new table. It will take some time for the Visual Studio to show the interface. So let me go ahead and let me do the thing over here. And let us look at what are the things which are there. So we have the student number, student name, marks in the 3 subjects to be added over here. So let me go ahead and let's start with the student number. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say student number, the first field, and you notice that it is by default it is made it as primary key. If you don't want it to be primary key, right click and you can remove the primary key. Right click again and you can set the primary key. Let the data type be integer because I am not really interested in typing the UCMS number there. Let me use the student name as the second field. Let me click on here and let me select the data type as varchar2. Remember, you can use nvarchar. If you use the nvarchar, you can even store the Kannada or Tamil or any other font there. But I will restrict myself to varchar. So you have this varchar. Don't select var binary. It is varchar. Let it be the name be 50 characters, and then you have the marks in 3 subjects. So let's say subject 1 marks. Okay, so this is subject 1 marks. So I'm going to subject proper. So there must be C, I suppose. Subject 1 marks. Okay, why didn't I type like this? Because it's going to come in the data grid view. That is why I'm giving it descriptive name over here. Let it be int. I'm going to type I here and I'm going to select int. And next one is subject 2 marks. And I will select the data type as int again. And then I have the subject 3 marks. Let me select this one also as int here. So that's done there. And let us look at what else they expect us to store. So they have said here, calculate the total percentage and grade and store it. So I will have to even store them here. So let me go here and then say total. So I'm going to say total marks. So total marks. I'm giving it a descriptive name here because I will tell you why I am doing like that later. Then what else I have is percentage. So I'm going to say percentage. I will write a full thing here, percentage. Okay. And percentage, you know very well, it is not integer. Let me say this is a decimal. Okay, and I'm going to say decimal 6 comma 2. So that's enough, I suppose. 6 comma 2. 2 decimal places precision is enough for us. And finally, I have the grade, and I will take the grade as varchar. So you can use the nvarchar, but I will not use the nvarchar, but go with the varchar. And I think it won't go beyond first class, second class, third class, like that. Let me just make it as 25. I hope that much field is enough for me. If you don't want to allow the null, you can remove this by clicking here. You can make it not null. But that question was is not there. I'm not going to waste my time in doing that thing. Only one thing that you must understand here is if you create the table, it's going to create the table with the name of the table as table itself. I don't want the name of the table to be table. I want to give some descriptive name. And what name I can give? I can say yesterday info. Okay, this is the table. STD info is my table name. Okay, and I'm going to, if you want, you can also add TBL, but that's enough, I suppose. Okay, so that is going to be my database. That is a table. I'm going to click on this update button now. So I will click here and I will click on this update button, and it is going to say what you want to do with. I want to update the database. So I'm going to click on this update database, and it will take some time for it to complete its work, and your database is the table is created. Now, if I click on the Server Explorer here on the left hand side, if I click on the Server Explorer, and if I refresh it, I can refresh it by clicking here, or I can right click and then refresh. One and the same. You will notice that the student info, that is the table name, has been created. If you right click and if you say that show me what is there inside that table, you say that this table is empty now. Nothing is there in that particular table. So it is completely empty. So we have created the table, and we need to connect that table with our project. How do I do that thing? So one way is you have to have, you know very well, whenever you want to connect to a database, you have to have the connection string. Now, the easiest way to store the connection string is ask the Visual Studio to store it as one of the properties of the project, so that tomorrow if you change the database, you can just go to one location and change the database name, and that project will work fine without making any changes there. So how do I do that thing? I'm going to go to the Solution Explorer. Again, if the Solution Explorer is not there, click on View and Solution Explorer. So we have the Solution Explorer, and you get this properties. You notice that you have this properties here. Just double click on it, properties, and you will notice you get the properties for your project. And what I want is I want to change one of these settings. So I'm going to click on this settings here, and when you click on the settings, you will notice that there is nothing is there in that setting, because we have not created. So this project does not contain any default settings. So I'm going to click here to create one setting. So I'm going to just click on this to create the setting. So the first thing that I want here in my project is the connection string. So I'm going to give the name, just click here or double click here and then say connection string, CONSTR, connection, let me make it, type it in one case, connection string. And it is, even though we say it is a connection string, it is not just an ordinary string, it is a connection string. So you click on the down arrow and select it as a connection string. So you got the connection string. You have to type the value. There are two ways in which you can type the value. Okay. So sometimes this thing works, sometimes it is not working. So let's see whether it works or not. I'm going to go to the Server Explorer here. Okay. Server Explorer here. You notice here, Server Explorer. I have my database here. So somehow you know that it is connected to the database. So I will ask this connection, tell me what is the connection string. So this is because it is connected and I have created the table, I can easily get the connection string from this itself. So how do I do that? Right click on it and then say show me the properties of this particular connection. So I will click on it and then say show the properties. On the right hand side you will see the properties for that connection, and you will notice that there is a connection string. So I'm going to click inside here, Control A to select everything, Control C to copy it. Then I will come back to my properties here. I'm going to just click here and then Control V to paste it. Okay, done with that. Okay, now I'm going to just check whether it is working or not. Sometimes what happens is when you click on here, this particular ellipsis, it says that something is missing and so on and so forth. So if something is missing, you have an option, don't worry. So if I click on it, you may get like this. Okay, so if you click on this one, you will get like this. Suppose say when you click on it, you get an error message saying that that thing is not there. Okay, if you get like this, so in that case, what to do? So in that case, just delete this. When you get clicked in on this ellipsis, you get a message saying that something data is something missing, something that you just delete it, go on, click on this ellipsis, and then do it manually. So how do you do it manually is click on this one. Data sources must be SQL Server. You can click here and then say change and select the SQL Server database file. So because you are connected to the server, so what did I do? I will cancel it. What did I do here is I went here because I was not able to connect to the database. Just assume that now I am able to connect it, but if at all you are not able to connect to it, click on this ellipsis here on this side. If you have no, sometimes bad luck pops in, and if you're not able to connect, just click on this ellipsis, select the database sources, and in this case we are using Microsoft SQL Server database. So click on it and then select Microsoft SQL database, click OK, done. And then you have to locate the database name. Now, how do you locate this database? It is a bit a difficult challenge to do it, but you must remember one thing. You must know what is the name of your project. So remember, your name of your project is Web Application 3. That's the name of your project. And you are going to click on this ellipse here. Okay, and you are there at this. Click on browse here. So click on browse here. Okay. It will take you to the where your data is there. So just it will take you to some location like this. Okay. Locate where your somewhere you will notice that this thing. What is this Visual Studio, the version that you have, and you see this project, and within that you have to locate where is the project. Remember my name of my project. I'm going to just cancel it one and just show you. I will cancel this one and just show you. The name of my project is Web Application 3. I will have to go to that folder. So inside that folder, you will notice that inside that folder, you have this uh, app underscore data. This is the place where the database is there. So this is the database one is there inside that folder. So I'm going to click on this one, three ellipses, and click on the browse. Select that you selected the Microsoft SQL Server database file. So this part you have selected the Microsoft SQL database file, and then click on the browser, and then start searching for the database. So you have to go and search for the database. Generally, it will be under project. You search the name of your project. Remember, the name of my project is Web Application 3. And again, remember that this is the solution. Inside this, you have one more Web Application 3. Let me just show you one more time. Just to create here. See, you have the solution as Web Application 3. Just look at here. Inside that, you have one of the project as Web Application 3. This is the name of the solution. Inside that, one more Web Application 3. Inside that, you will get app underscore data. So let me redo it one more time. So you go here and then see to that you select the Microsoft SQL Server file, browse here, okay, and assume that somehow you went to the VS uh, this one, and there will be folder. So if you go here, you will have under this Visual Studio 2015 or whatever it is. You just open this project and then Web Application 3. Remember, this is the solution. This is the particular project, and then you have a web. I'm double clicking every time. Then you have this web, that is the app underscore data. You selected it, and you have the database file. So that is it. You select it, open it. Okay. Okay. So the problem there is the file is in use. The reason is I should. Okay, let me just close it. Let me just close it. The already that is connected. If you look at here on the left hand side, it is already connected. So when it is connected, you cannot connect it one more time. So what I can do is I will go to the Server Explorer, right click on it, and then I'm going to say that close the connection. Close the connection. So what did I do is I went to the Server Explorer, and then I went to the particular database, right click on it, and then say close the connection. So this connection is closed, then only you can set the other connection, because if the connection is active, it won't allow you to connect make the connection again. Again, I'm coming back to the same project, the uh, the setting there. Again, same place, and I will do the same old story here. I will go here, select the SQL database file, and click on the browse, and I have to go to the location where my project is there. So I will go to the project, and my project name is web application 3, and I'm going to open the solution, open my project, open app data. I will select this database file, click open. Okay. Did I, just a second. I think that file is in use again. There is it. Let me close all this thing, all of them, so that I will be able to. Did I close the connection? Let's see the. Okay, I think I have closed the connection. Then let me try it one more time. Now, sometime it just does it. Remember, this you are doing it only if you are in trouble, and when you know very well when you are in trouble, everything will go bad. That is it. Okay, see, now it got connected. This is the one you are supposed to do it. Sometimes things go bad, and even when I do it, things go bad. So it is not. I'm not. I'm also human here. So just click on the test connection, and that connection must be successful. Now the question is, I will just cancel it. What would have happened if you have done it right at the beginning? So let me go to the properties here. I click and go to the properties. Suppose you were the very luckiest person, and right at the beginning you went here to the Server Explorer, right click on it, went to the properties, and went to the connection string here. Control A to select everything, Control C to copy it. You came to this place and you copied it, Control V to paste it, and just click outside and come back, Control V to paste it. Okay. And you clicked on the solution, this one, and you clicked on this three things. Nothing happened, and you got the same connection properties. You test the connection, and the connection was successful. So this is, if you are a very lucky person, you just paste the connection here, and then click on the three ellipses. Test the connection must be true, or the connection must be successful, the test connection must be successful, and everything is over. If it is not there, if you have bad luck, then go delete all these things, click on these three ellipses, go and select the Microsoft SQL database file, and then search the database, then test the connection, and finally click OK. Okay. So sometimes you are lucky, and sometimes you are not lucky. In both the cases, during the examination, anything can happen. So if such a thing happens, you must be in a position to do it manually, as well as you can do it directly. So my personal advice is try this one. First you go here and then test whether the connection is successful. Then you delete it and then manually do it with the three lists I told you, with the here going and searching and doing it, so that during the examination, if anything happens, you are in a position to make the connection to the database. So with that, I'm going to just save this one and then close it. Click on this save and then close this. Now let us start our application. I'm going to go to the Solution Explorer here, and I will click on the web application. I want a web form here, so right click on it, and I'm going to say add, and I will straight away say the web form. So directly I'm going to do it. So I'm going to say right click here on this your project, click on add, and then click on web form. Okay, straightforward it will come. I'm going to directly do it. Okay, this is the easiest way. What is the toughest way? Go to the, instead of going here, go to the new item, and then select under the web, select web form. Under this web, first you have to click on this web, and then click on the web form if you want to give some name, and then add. Okay, this is the toughest way. So what is the toughest way? Right click here, go to add, go to new item and click on the web and then select web form and then add. Both of them are same. Both of them will not make any difference in the adding of the file. So let's look at this one. You notice that at the bottom side here, you will have three options here. You are currently in the source code view. I'm going to go to the design view here, okay, by clicking on design view. Before you go to the design view, ensure that your cursor is there in the middle of this div. So you see to it that you are there at the middle. If you are not very sure, just type something here so that you know that that is the position, that is the middle of it. Type anything there and just leave it, and then click on the design. So you know that that is the middle. So you notice that DF, whatever I have written, that is the middle position. So this is the middle position. So you know that that's the middle position. So you are there at the middle position. I'm going to just delete it. So when you are there at this position, click on this table here. You notice that you have the table. So see to it that you are here. Don't click here and there. So you were in the this position, that is you were there here at this position in between the div. Okay. You went to the design. Don't click here and there. Just go to the table and then say insert table. I'm going to insert 8 rows here. So I'm going to insert, I think, 8 rows. Okay. I'm going to insert 8 rows here. Only 8. I'm going to just type 8 here and leave everything as it is. I'm then going to click OK. So when I do that thing, you notice that it is appearing slightly on the, you notice that this is the, if I just select it, this is the first column, and this is the second column. Now I don't want the column to come right at the middle, so I will go here. You notice, look at the mouse pointer there. It is going to change at two-headed arrow. So right and left two-headed arrow. Click here and then just drag and make adjustment like this. Okay, so these columns width are shorter, and this time this column width are larger. So now I will leave the first column here. I will go to the first column and second, first row and second column. I will go here and I'm going to say student information. We'll remove this one. Information. Okay, done. What is the first thing that we are supposed to get? First one we are supposed to get is a student number. Then use the down arrow. Just type the student number and type the down arrow. Then I'm going to say student name, down arrow. Marks in first subject, I will say marks 1. Marks in subject 1. Subject subject 1. Down arrow, just type the down arrow, press the down arrow on your keyboard. Marks in subject 2. Marks in subject 2. Press the down arrow. Marks in subject 3. So done with that. We are done with the thing over here, and we need a few things to be done over here. All of them are text boxes now. So I'm clicking on the next row. So this is the first column. This is the second column. So second column, and I am clicking here. Okay. Go to the toolbox again. If the toolbox is not visible, go here, and then you will get the toolbox somewhere. Okay. And I want the text box. I will just click here and I'm going to say text, and you get the text boxes. You can double click if you know how to double click it, or if you know how to drag it, you can drag it. So I'm going to just double click and you notice that it has come there. You notice the text box has come there. I'll click on the second name, that is for the student name. Same thing, go to toolbox, double click and it comes there. Let's go to the marks in subject 1. Click here in the second. This is your second column. That is the first column. So I'm clicking on the second column. Go to the toolbox and I'm going to click double click on the text box again. I will go here and double click on the text box. And finally, I will go here and double click on the text box. That is done. Now we have to have two buttons here that they said the two buttons must be there. One is add, other one is display. So let me add these two things. So I'm going to go here. This is the blank one. So I will go here and I will go to the toolbox again. Now in the toolbox, I'm going to delete this one, remove this, press delete, and I need button. I'm going to just type BUT and I got the button now. Double click on it, the button will appear here. Okay. Click outside the button. You see the cursor there. Put some space bar, press the space bar a few times, and then I will again go to the toolbox and again double click on the button. So two buttons are added. Okay, so two buttons are added. The first button must be according to the thing. The first button must be add. The second button must be display. So let's go ahead and let's do that thing over there. So I'm going to click on the button first, right click on it, and I'm going to say properties. So right click on this button and then properties, and I will go to the properties of the buttons. It will that you are in the button 1, so you can notice that you can click here and then make the changes. So just click on this down arrow and you can make the changes. So I will go to the button 1 and I will change the text of the button as add. Done. Let me click on this second button and I'm going to go to the properties of this one. Right click and say properties. I'm in the second button and I'm going to say display. They give the name display there. Okay, so this is display. So two buttons are being done. One is the add, the other one is the display. So two buttons are done. Okay. I'm going to put one label here. After this, I'm going to put one label here. So I'll go to the toolbox and within the toolbox, let me just go here to the toolbox and I will type LAB and I got the label. I can double click. If you keep the cursor here, just go to the toolbox and just double click on the label. Let the label be there. I will come back to the label later. Now I need to add something to the database. So this is what they said. I have to add these information to the database. So I'm going to go to the add button here and I'm going to, if you want, you can just increase the size of this add button. So I will double click on this add button. So I will go here and double click on this add button. So I have the button one click event here. And what are the things that I am supposed to do it? First of all, I will try to get all the details which are provided here. What are the details that are provided here? So you know that whenever we are talking about the database, adding something to the database, first we will retrieve all the informations which are there in this here. Whatever that is typed here, I'm going to get all the information from here and then I will try to insert it. Now there can be some people might have written it wrongly. In that case, I will have to generate an error message. So let me go to uh, the C# part of it. I will try to get connect to the database. I will try to insert something into the database. I will try to read the content which are there in this particular text boxes. So and then if I succeed, I will proceed. If I don't succeed, if there is any exception, I will just give the message to the user. So I'm going to use this try catch here. That is the reason I use that one. So you just select this try and double tab two times, tab, press tab. So it will add the try catch and so on and so forth. So automatically Visual Studio will add it. Otherwise, you have to add it on your own. So I will try to do everything. If I don't, then I will raise the exception. Within the exception, what I'm going to do, first I will write the exception part. So I will say exception and I will take the variable as EX. So let me take the exception as EX. I will not throw this exception in and do the thing. You notice that I have added a label here. If there is any error, I will show it on this label. That's the reason I added that label. So I will say label one dot text is equal to, I will say error because there is going to be an error and colon plus I will ask this exception object here, ex object, and I'm going to say ex, show me the message. Okay. So if there is any error, that particular error message will be shown in this label so that the user knows that something really went wrong. Now let us come back to the first part. Now whatever that is typed over here, I'm going to read all of them into my local variables over here. So I will start with one thing at a time. So I will start with the first that is the, what is it, the student number. So let me say int, I will use the variable s number, and I will try to get the integer. You know very well, this is the text box. Whatever you type in the text box are text, so I will convert it into integer. So I'm going to say int dot, pass it as integer, and where is the value? Value is there in the text box one. Okay, text box one dot txt. By the way, let me just show you the text boxes here. You notice that if you just keep the cursor over here on top of it, let me just zoom in and tell you, this is the text box one. Second one will be the text box two. Third one will be the text box three, and so on and so forth. Let me zoom out and just show. Next one is text box 4, next one is text box 5. So they are in the order there. So just be careful. First one is text box 1, second one is text box 2, text box 3, text box 4, text box 5. Look at the name and then add it. Don't blindly add a text box 1 because you might have placed text box 1 here, text box 3 here. So be careful. The one that I am referring to is the text box 1 here. Now when you drag it or when you place it, if you have placed the text box 1 here, then for the subject 2 you have to use the text box. So this is I added it in the order, so that is why I'm getting it everything in the order. If you added it in a wrong way, then see for the student number, what is the name of the text box? For student name, what is the name of the text box? Just click here and you will come to know what is the name of that text box. Okay. So in my case, because I have added it in the same order, I will not bother about that. So this is the student number. Second one is the string, and I'm going to say yes name, and I will get it from the text box. So there is no need to parse it because it is a text. Student name is a text there. Next one is the marks. So I will take the marks as M1. It is a variable name, so M1. I will again try to parse it as an integer, and my text box happens to be text box number 3. Remember, I have put it in the order, so that is why I am using text box 1, text box 2, text box 3. If you have done it in the other way around, just check once whether the subject one is actually the text box number 3. You can notice that it is showing what is the name of the text box there. Again, if you just click, you will come to know. Okay. In my case, everything is proper. When you drag it, if you have dragged it in a wrong order, or if you deleted some text box, then this may be text box number 5 or something. So check what is the name of the text box. You can also right click and go to the properties and find out what is the name of the text box. So this is not the text, it's the name that we are interested in. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's work with the remaining part. I will copy this one because it is the same for next text box. So I will just copy it too. So this is the marks 2 and the next one is marks 3, and the text box number is next text box number 4 and next text box number 5. So my marks will be there in text box 3, 4, 5. If you look at here, my marks will be there in the first marks is there in the text box number 3, next one is text box number 4, and the next one is text box number 5. That's the reason I have done that thing. So I got everything. Let me calculate the total. I'm going to say total. I will take the total is what is the total? Total is M1 plus M2 plus M3. That is my total. And next I need percentage. I will take the double precision value. So double percent, I'll just take it as PER. This is nothing but total divided by 3.0. So you know very well, you get the percentage. Okay. Then I need to find out the grade. This is what they have said. You need to find the calculate the percentage, and then grade. I have to calculate the grade. So let me take the string, and I'm going to use the word grade, grade. I will initialize it with the null string here. Then I'm going to use the if condition for my checking. So if percentage is less than 35, so you know very well percentage is less than 35, then what is the grade? The grade happens to be it is fail. Okay, so that is it. Next, else if I'm not going to type it again. Else if I'm going to just copy it and just paste it here. Else if this is less than 50, then grade is pass. Okay. Again, I'm going to copy this one, Control C and Control V. Okay. Else it is less than 60. Some people use A, B, C, D. I'm going to use the first class, second class, and second. So this is second class. Okay. Pass class, should I say pass class? Okay, next one, let me just else if it is less than 75, I assume that 75 is the distinction. If it is 85 is the distinction, just put it as 85 is the distinction. I'm going to make it as first class. Otherwise, else grade is distinction. Distinction. So even I calculated the grade here. I calculated the total. I calculated grade. Everything is there with me now. Now it is the time to connect to the database and then store everything in the database. In order to go to the database, you know very well, we need to establish the connection with the database, and the database that we are using is the SQL database. So I'm going to use the SQL connection. Just type SQL, not everything in capital. S is only in capital. SQL connection. You won't get any help. Remember this during the examination. SQL connection. Why you are using SQL connection? Because your database is SQL database. Okay. SQL connection, and let me take the variable as con. Now, if you just keep your mouse pointer on here, you notice that if you just keep it here, you will see a bulb there. Let me zoom in for you. You see a bulb here. Just keep your mouse pointer, you see a bulb here. Then if you click on the down arrow over here, it's going to say what you want to do. I want the, you know very well, the database that I've used is SQL client. So I want to use this my system.data.SQL client. So I will use click on this one. What will happen if I click on this one? If you look at the top side of your table here, using is there. So it will start using that namespace. So I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to say using system.data.SQL client. Just click on here, and what you notice at the top, it will add using system.data.SQL client. Okay, it has added automatically. It has added that statement. Let me use the connection. Connection is equal to new SQL connection. You just press enter. This knows that thing. Now, if you open this the parenthesis, there are three overloads are there. If you click on the down arrow, the first one it is going to say is give me the connection string. Remember, we took a lot of pain in getting this connection string inside this properties. Where is this properties? Okay. A lot of trouble was there to get this connection string, and we are supposed to use that connection string. How do we get this connection string? Remember, we went to the properties, and within the properties, you went to the settings, and within the default setting, you got within the default setting, you got this connection string. So let me put that thing in the same order. So you start with the properties. Let's go here with the story here. I'm going to just close this one. I start with the properties. So you just start with the properties. You see there properties, and within the properties, you went to the settings. Okay, if you let me just double click and just show you. You went to the properties. This is the properties. Then you went to the setting. Then you went to the default setting. Let's go to the setting. Then you are changing the default setting, and then you have the connection string there. CONSTR connection string. Remember this connection string, just double click here. Connection string is there, inside the properties setting, and the connection string, the name that you gave. Okay, done. So you got the connection there, and we need a query to insert something into the database. So how do I do that thing? I'm going to say string and I'm going to say query. So what is my query? Query is you need to insert something into the database. So I'm going to say insert into my table name. What is the name of my table? Just look at the name of your table. The name of your table happens to be std info. So that is the name of the table. Insert into std info. Okay, and I will straight away put the values. So I will put the values there, values, and which are the values that we are supposed to put is all these values, whatever we have calculated here, all these values that we took pain in getting all these variables that we were doing, all has to be inserted. So I will not insert it directly here. I will use the parameter. So how do you write the parameter? At the symbol followed by any variable like x, y, z. Okay, at the x, at the y, like this. Parameter name you can type it, but if you type x, y, you will get confused. So I'm going to use the proper name. First one is the student number. Look at the table here. Just go here. Okay, just look at this one. I will go to the server explorer, go to the my table, right click and then say the table here, show data here. Yeah, I'm just going to do that thing, show data, and I'm going to insert some student number one. Name is let's say money. I'm just adding some thing. Marks is 55, then something, then something, and so on. Okay, I can do it. I can go here, and if you know that it's going to say script here. If you just look at this script, I'm going to click on this script here, and it's going to tell you what is the insert statement that you are trying. Insert into the student info and the values. If you look at it here, I will scroll and I will show you. So insert into this one values. You have to put all the values one after the other. So this is what you are supposed to do it. I will not waste your time by showing all these things. It is not really required. I'm going to go here, click here and just delete it so that that row is deleted. Just delete that row. You can just right click here and then say delete, and that row will be deleted. Now, let me not distract you with that. So first one is the what is this register number, that is student number. If you look at the again, if you look at it here, the first one is the student number. Next one is student name, marks, entry, subject, total, percentage, grade. So you have to get it like this. So first one is student number, second one is a student name, third one is marks in one subject. So I'm going to say M1. Next one is M2. Next one is M3. Next one is total. I will just use TOT. Next one is percentage. I will use PER. Next one is uh, what is this grade? I'm going to use GRAD, grade. Okay, so this is the query that you're going to say. We will supply the values. So for this student number, I will get the values from here. So student number, I will get this value here, and I'm going to substitute here. Student name, I'm going to substitute here. This I'm going to do it later. So now let me just go ahead and do that thing. Let's create a command for that. So you have established a connection with the database. Now we have to issue this command. This command has to be given to the database. So how do I do that thing? So first of all, I need a SQL command to do that thing. So I'm going to say SQL command. Again, this you must remember during the examination. You won't get the help. So SQL command, press enter, and I'm going to call this one as CMD as my command, and I'm going to say new SQL command. Okay, if you open the parenthesis, there are four overloads are there. I will go with this third overload. So third overlay says that you need the text, that is, you need the query and you need the connection. So this connection, as well as first you have to put the query, next one you have to put the connection. So first the string, next one is the SQL connection. You notice the thing there. So I'm going to use the first one is the query, second one is the connection. So done. So you have done the connect. You have started the command. Now this command requires, you cannot execute this command because these values has to be obtained from this place. So these values, whatever values are there, these values must be placed here. So I'm going to do that thing by saying command dot, I will add the parameter. So command dot parameters. Then I'm going to say add with the values. So add with the values. Let us start with the one command. So first one is the string. Parameter name is yes number. That is, it is in the string. Next one is its corresponding value. So very one of the most simplest mistake that the student will do is whenever they are putting it in the string. So for example, this is yes number is there. So I'm going to just select it yes number, and you have to paste it. This is the parameter name. So they paste it here. So what student generally will do is they will put extra space here. Some people will put extra space here. Don't do it. This will create an error there. So this is without space, as is, what is typed there as is must be there. So this is matching here without the space. Okay, then what is the value? Where is the value? For student number, I will have to get the value from yes number. So this yes number value will be added here. So how do I write that thing? I will say for student number, the value is yes number. That's it. Okay, similarly for student name. So for student name, yes name, the value will come from here. So yes name, the value will come from here. For marks, the value will come from here. For this marks, the value will the things will come from here. So on and so forth. So I'm going to just copy this one, Control C, because otherwise every time I have to type it. Control C. So how many times these are required? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times it is required. So I'm going to just paste it 7 times. So 1, 2. I'm just pressing enter and pasting it. Control V to paste it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just using Control V and pressing enter so that I get the thing. Now I will fill these one after the other. So first one is yes number. This is already done. Second one, you just see, double click on this one. If you are able to do it, just double click here. That is why you must be a bit good in using mouse. Double click here. So you got it. Control C to copy it. Come here, double click here, Control V to paste it. Double click, Control C to copy it. Double click, Control V to paste it. Double click, Control C to copy. Double click, Control V to paste it. Double click, Control C to copy. Control V to paste. So this is done. Double click, Control C to copy. Control V to paste. You see how fast it is. Control C, Control V, and Control C, Control V. Done. Now let's look at the yes name. Where is the yes name? Yes name, what is the variable name? Yes name, the variable name is C. I'm going to use Control C and double click, Control V. Then we have the marks, M1, double click, Control C and Control V. I'm going to just use Control V 3 times because you know very well this is M1, M2, M3. Okay, so M1, M2, M3, I can straight away do it from here itself. So first one is M1, second one is M2, third one is M3. So this is straightforward. So this is M1, M2, M3. Then double click, Control C and come here, Control V, done. Percentage, double click, Control C and Control V. And finally grade, double click, Control C and Control V, done. Okay, so all of them are being done. Now we will have to open the connection here. That is, open the connection, and then we have the connection here, but we have not opened, we have not established the connection. We just have the connection, that's all. We have to open this connection. So let's go here, and I'm going to say connection. Remember, my name of the connection object is con. You notice here. So connection dot, I'm going to say open the connection. Done. Okay. And whenever you open the connection, the last thing you are going to do is you're going to close that connection. Remember that you open the connection and close the connection. Suppose if you are familiar with this one using, suppose if you are familiar, let me just show that thing. If you are familiar with this using story, use this using, but I'm not going to use it because I feel that you are not, it can simply confuse you. Okay, that's the reason. Okay, you have the connection open, so you establish a connection with the database, execute this command. Remember, you have to send this command. So how do I say that? CMD and execute non-query. Why this is non-query? Because it's not going to return anything. It is inserting something into the table, so it will not return any values from the database. So it is non-query there. So if you are able to succeed, if you are able to come up to this point, I'm going to go to this label. See the label that I've added over here. I'm going to go to this label, and I'm going to say label one dot text. I'm going to say, uh, in other words, I'm going to show if see if you come up to this point without exception. What is the meaning of that? Is if you are able to execute this query, that means you are able to insert a record into the database. If you insert the record into the database, just show that information to the user, saying that the information that is things are stored in the database. So how do I say that? I'm going to say student information is saved. Okay, that's enough. The student information is saved. So let me do that thing. Say once the information is saved, you will fill these values. There will be some values here. I'm going to clear all the text boxes so that once the information is saved, that users can type the question. Otherwise, they have to delete and then do it. So whatever you have typed, those values has to be deleted. I'm going to just show you there, and then I will tell you what is the problem. So there are two problems over here. This label will appear, okay, on the output. Let's run it and just to show you what's going to happen. Let me just run that thing. So when I run this one, this is what I'm going to get it. I'm going to close all these things. They are not really required. Okay. So this is what you're going to see on the output there. So this is what you're going to see. So you notice the first thing is that label will appear. I will get rid of that label. So my username is one. Student name is money. I'm going to just fill that thing money. And the marks is say 55, 56, 77 marks are there. I'm going to click on this add button. If everything is fine, it has to be stored in the database. So I click on this add, and you notice that student information is successfully saved. So that's it. And once that information is saved, these field must be cleared so that I can type the other value. So let me just stop here, and let's go to the database and just find out whether we are able to really save something into the database. I'm going to go to the server explorer again. If the server explorer something is not visible here, just go to the view and find out what you really want to see. Okay, so something is not there, go to view and find out what is not there. You just click on it, it will come front. Okay, now let's go to the what is it, tables here. So I'm going to go to the table. So you just click here. If you see this X mark, you are not connected. So right click here and then say refresh. That's it. You see the X mark. If there is an X mark, can you see that a kind of X mark is there? Right click and then say refresh. It's going to refresh it. Go to this student info table, and then right click. You open this one, tables. Click here, open the table, and this is not required to be open. So you have it here. Right click and then say show the table data. So show the table data, and you notice that money 556677, and it has calculated everything, and I got including the calculated information is saved there. Now few changes there. You notice that for the first time when I run it, just I'm going to just run it. Okay, first time when I run it, it is going to show me that label which I don't want it to show. So I'm going to fix that problem first. Let me just stop it, and I will go to my web form here. I'm going to go to my form here, and I will click on this label here. I will click on this label. I will go to the properties of this label. I will go to the properties of this label. So I went here, so right click on this one, properties of this label, and then I'm going to go here and I'm going to delete. You notice the label one. You see this label one, and you have the text here. I'm going to just delete that text. Just delete that text. That's it. Delete it, and it's gone. Okay, so what did I do? I right click on it. I went to the properties of that label and deleted the text. Now, if I run it, the first problem is solved. And what is that the first problem is solved is when it starts, it won't show you that label here. Nothing is going to be shown. But the second problem lies. What is the second problem? Once the data is added, it is still showing the data. So once I show this that student information is saved, I have to clear all the fields here. How do I do that thing? Let me go to the project and let me fix that one. So I'm going to go to the project here, that is web ASP this thing. Again, if by mistake if you have closed this one, what you are going to do? You go to the Solution Explorer, you notice your web page here. Somewhere you see this web form one. So open it, and if you want the CS to be open, open it, double click on it, and it will open. Suppose if you have closed it, double click and open it. Double click on add here, it will go to the C# code. To take you to the C# code where you were doing something. Okay. Now see, I've shown the label here. I've shown the label here. After that, after showing this label, okay, first thing you do it is you close the connection. Don't keep the connection open for a long time. See, as a good student, you must understand, or as a good developer, you must understand one thing, that when you want, you know, when you actually want to connect to the database, open the connection, do your work, and then immediately close the connection from the database. Don't keep the connection open for a long time, because you know the database is serving many connections. So if you simply hang on with the database, it will be a burden for the database. So you establish, it is like you establish a connection, do your work, then just come out of it, then close the connection. So this you must do it. So you close the connection, and then whatever other housekeeping work you have, you do it here. So these are all housekeeping work. And what is this housekeeping work? I'm going to clear all the text boxes here. I will delete all the text which is there in this text box. How do I do that thing? I'm going to go here and I'm going to say text box one dot text, and I will set it as blank. So what do you mean by doing that is I will clear this text here. Similarly, I will clear this text box 2, text box 3, text box 4, and other things. So I'm going to just select this one, Control C. I'm not going to type it. Control V. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 4 5s are there. So this is the text box number 1. This will be text box number 2. This is text box number 3. This is text box number 4, and this will be text box number 5. All the text boxes I am clearing the content. So from all the text boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the text boxes I'm clearing these content. So that is what I'm doing. So let us try it, and let's see whether we are able to add one more record. So I'm going to just run it, and let's see how it's going to look like. So you have the blank connection, student information. You can say enter student information. That is okay. Remember, I am not checking for the existence and other things. It will again make the code very complicated. So during the examination, don't repeat this number. What do I mean by saying that is, you know very well that in your database, this student number is the primary key. You know very well primary key cannot repeat it. So when you are adding something, don't do this mistake in front of the examiner. Don't repeat this number. It will create an exception there. So just for your information, suppose if I do the same thing, let me first add this one and show you the thing. Let me say this is Sudha. Okay, so say we got 77, 88, 99. Okay, let's add Sudha into the table. So Sudha is added. So you notice that once Sudha is added, all the fields are here. All of them are cleared. So how did I clear all of them? All of them I cleared it because, let me go to the CSS here. I cleared all the text boxes. That is the reason. Once I add everything, this is a totally blank slate now. If I go to the thing over here and if I refresh it, I must get the Sudha's information along with her details. Okay. Now, what if I remember this primary key, that is the student number 2 is already there. What if I add the primary key again? So 2 is there, and let's say Surya is the name, and some number, let's say uh, say say 99, 57, of 56, something like that, and add it. What is going to happen? You are going to say primary key violation, PK table, and so on and so forth. You get an error message. Statement has been terminated. The reason is, you know very well, primary key cannot be repeated. So I'm going to go here and I will going to make it as 3, and I will change the primary key and I'm going to just add it, and the Surya's information is saved. If I go back here and then refresh it, you will notice that Surya's information has been added. So up to this part, this is done. So I'm going to stop at this point and let's go with the next part. And what is the next part? Next part, what they have said is when you click on this display, you are supposed to show the information in the data grid view. So let's go ahead and let's do that part. I'm going to go to my form here and I'm going to just to make it slightly larger. So display, done. I think that is you know display. So I need a data grid view here into my form. Again, the data grid view must come outside this table. You notice that there is a table here. Can you see the dashed lines there? So this table is there. I don't want the grid to come on this table. If you want, you can show the grid here, but I don't want to make all the mess here. I will get the grid here below this. So it must come outside the table. So how do I know that I'm outside the table? For this, you go to the source here. Go to the source, click on the source, and you notice that this is the table. You see that's the end of the table. So the table will start from here, and if you scroll down, slash table, this is the end of the table. And you know very well, last time also I told you, you must be there inside this div and slash div. So after the table, press enter, okay, and type something. Just type, this is for your reference. Okay, after the table, when the table is ending, slash table. So if the table is ending there, after that, but before the end of the div or before the end of the form, you type something and keep it so that you know that you are there at this position. So just type something and keep it. Now I will go, you are in the source view here. Let's go to the design view. So can you see there? This is the position that is outside the table and within the form. So this is the position there. Okay. So you can press enter here. Okay, and keep it. Still, you will be there inside that only. Okay, you will be there inside the div only. You see that it has added via, but let it be. Let whatever it has added. So you are inside the div. Now you have to insert a data view grid. How do I do that thing? So I'm going to go to the toolbox here and I'm going to search for data grid. I'm going to just search for grid. I think you get this. Okay. Data grid view. So just drag that grid view and I will just drag it and just leave it here. So you notice that grid view has come there. So you have the grid view coming here. Now you can delete this thing, or you can type something, but I will just uh, click here and then leave this one. If you want, you can remove that break also and get it beautifully getting it here. Okay, now let us look at what are we supposed to do it with the data view grid. Okay, let us go and let us double click on this display button here. So I'm going to click on the display button. First thing is we have to connect to the database. So we need to connect to the database and we have to pull out all the records from here. So all these record has to be pulled out from the table and then you have to dump it onto the data grid view. So how do I do that thing? Again, the first thing is you establish the connection with the database, run a query on the database, get everything, and just push it to the grid view. So that's what you are supposed to do it. How do I get connected to the database? You know very well, to connect to the database, you have to have the connection, and the connection you have already done here. You notice that there was this connection. You need this connection. You need a query, and you need to open the connection. You need to close the connection. During this time, anything can go wrong. So I will start with the try catch story here. So I will try to establish the connection with the database. Type try and double tab, and you get that thing. So if everything is fine, well and good. If everything is not fine, let me give the variable name as ex, and I will go to this label, and I will give the text message in the label. If something goes wrong, I'm going to say error and colon followed by this ex, this object that I have it here. I'm going to say ex dot message. Okay, if there is any problem, I'm going to show that thing. Now let's go ahead and let's establish the connection. So how do you establish a connection? You need SQL connection object. So I will call it as CON, and I'm going to say new SQL, new SQL connection. And you need a connection object. You notice that it will need a connection string. And how do you get the connection string? You went to the properties, okay, and then you went to the settings, you went to the default, and you went to the connection string. So that's the connection. You establish the connection. Then you need a query. So string query. What is the query? I'm going to query all the values from the database. So how do you write that query? Select star from the table name. What is the name of the table? Name of the table is std info. So name of the table is std info. So select everything from the table. And what is the next thing that you need to do? Okay, you need to get. You don't have to run a query now. You have to get a adapter now. So you know adapter you are using for your mobile adapter. So adapter is there. So you have your record here, and let me just show this one. There is this one. I'm going to just pin it. And I'm going to tell you. So you have this grid here. The grid is like this. So you have to have, you are using adapter for your mobile, so that these things will match. So the connection from here is passing from here and is going to come and fill into that. So for that you need an adapter, not the query. So I'm going to start with the adapter. Where is it, the thing gone? So I'm going to say SQL QL. Why SQL? Because I'm using a SQL Server. SQL data adapter. So I need a data adapter. I'm going to call it as a DA. You will say this thing will be done in the theory classes. What is the data adapter and what is data table and so on. So I will not talk much about it, because then the video will become very lengthy. So I will start a new object, SQL data adapter, and the SQL data adapter requires two things. I will go to there are four overloads are there. I will go to the third overload. The third overload requires first you have to write the query. Second one is the connection object. So I will say this is the query. So this is the query and this is the connection. So I've already done that thing. So you know very well. This is the connection and this is the query. So I've done that part. Now I'm going to get from the adapter, I will get the table view. Remember, I have to connect to the table here. So I have to get this information and I put it into the table here. So I will first create a data table object. So I'm going to say data table. Now, one thing you must notice is data table has nothing to do with the different adapters that you are, or different types of a connection that you use. Whether you are using the Oracle, whether you're using MySQL, or whether you are using SQL, data table is a common one. So it won't be there within the SQL this namespace. So it won't be there in this namespace. It will be there in some other namespace. See, this story will be told in the theory class, so don't worry about it. So I'm going to start the data table here. So when you must type it manually and then ask this Visual Studio to help you out with that. So I'm going to type data table. Now, if I come back here and if I keep my mouse pointer here, this time, if I just keep my mouse pointer here, the Visual Studio, and if you see the bulb there, you click on the thing there, it's going to say, you see there, it is system.data. This is a very different namespace than the namespace which was here. You notice that system.data.sql client. It was there inside here. Now it is outside this one. So you have to have one more using statement there. So I'm going to click on here and I'm going to say using system.data. So just click on it, and the Visual Studio is intelligent enough to add that line here using system.data. So right at the top, you will see that it has added system.data there. So let's go ahead and let's continue with our work. So this is the table, and I'm going to create a new table, new data table. So this, in other words, I have just created a blank table, like the one that you created here, blank table. I just create a blank table, and I have to fill that table. How do I fill that table? You remember I have this adapter. I told you this adapter is going to connect to that. So I'm going to go to the adapter. What is the name of my adapter? BA is the name of my data adapter. So I'm going to go to the data adapter, and I'm going to tell the data adapter, you fill this table. Okay, you go to the database and fill this data table. So that's simple as that. So I'm saying to the adapter, you go here, get the data. So this is the data adapter. Go here, get the data, and then fill the data table. So that's it. Once the data table is created, now I'm going to go to this grid view. So I will go to this grid view. This is the name of this grid view is grid view 1. You just keep it here. You notice that the name is grid view 1. Or if you go to the properties of this one, it will also show you that this is grid view 1. Okay. So let me go to this grid view 1, and I'm going to say grid view 1. First of all, you must get the data from this source. So I'm going to say data source of this is that table. So you are going to get the data from that table, and not only that, you must get bound to that particular table. So I'm going to say grid view dot, then I'm going to say data bind, data bind. So data bind to that particular table. So this table is filled, and I'm saying that you see, you get the data from this table and you get bound to that particular thing. So don't come out of that thing over here. Then I have this label here. So generally, whenever I do something, we have this label. So what if we label, what was the name of the label? Label 1. Okay, I suppose now label 1 dot text is text, and I'm going to say details of student details are listed below. Okay, something. I'm just typing some random text here, so something has been that. So the next one is, can you close the connection with the data adapter? So if you say DA dot, do you have the close here? You notice that close is not there. Okay, so don't worry, it will go establish the connection and come back. Okay, so that's it. You are able to do that thing. Let me just run it, and let's see whether we are able to get something from our table. So I'm going to go here, and let's see whether it is able to go and get the data from the table over or this particular database there. See how it's going to come. So I'm going to say display, and you see student details are listed below. So you now I tell you why I gave the lengthy name marks, subject 1 mark, subject 2 mark, subject 3 mark. So in my database, when I created my database, I told you that I'm going to give you lengthy name for subject 1 mark, subject 2 mark, subject 3 mark. The reason for that is those this field names, that is the field headings, will come here. Other, if you just do M1, M2, M3, it would have just shown you as M1, M2, M3, and it won't look nice. That's the reason I gave very lengthy name, total marks, percentage, grade, and so on. So you notice three people are there. You can add the third person. Let me add the fourth person, and fourth person is Naveen, let's say, and let me make it as a second class. Just I'm not against Naveen. Just I think this will give a pass mark. Okay, just add Naveen. See, when I add Naveen, nothing is going to happen. The data is saved. When I click on the display, Naveen details will come. It is just a pass class. Okay. Now, if you want this part to be colored, data grid to be colored, you can do it. This is what is required for your examination. Now, after that, if you have completed this part, and if you are happy that you have completed everything, both the programs in your C sharp, then what you can do is you can just spend some time in your lab, and you can go here and click on this grid view here. And in this grid view, you notice if you have this one, okay, so you have a quick functions are there. So you can click on this one, and you can go to the auto format. And what did I do? I clicked on this grid view. I clicked on this one, and then clicked on auto format. And you can make it very colorful. Okay, a lot of options are there. You can select any one of them, whichever you want. You can select. Okay, so all of them are there. So you just select whichever you want. You can select them. You see, so many beautiful looking options are there, colorful, and whichever you want. All are looking beautiful. That's why I am getting it. Which one? Okay, I will select one. Okay, let's say I will select this. Click apply. Click OK, and I'm going to run it. And you see, remember you have to add 5 records. I have added only 4 records. You can add 5 records. And if you click on this display, and it's going to come in beautiful. So this looks really beautiful. So this is how you can do it without any effort. You will be able to add something to the database and retrieve something from the database. That's all. Thank you for your interest. I will meet again in the next session.